I want to get into this Chargers-Chiefs game. A great game yesterday. A lot of unexpected twists and turns, including Justin Herbert making his first career NFL start and learning of it, not the week of, maybe not Wednesday or Thursday leading into the game. Learning about it, 30 seconds before the ball is about to get kicked off. 30 seconds before he's about to trot into the huddle and call his first play as an NFL player or an NFL quarterback. Because Tyrod Taylor hurt his chest in pregame warmups. I honestly still don't know how that happens. Had to go to the hospital. Thankfully, it was released last night. But was out with a pregame chest injury. And that led to Justin Herbert taking over. So I want to get into whether there should be a quarterback controversy, because Anthony Lynn says no. I'll discuss why I think he's wrong. But before that, the Chargers. I know they're busy. I know it's early in the West Coast, right? It's 6:45 California time right now. So it's early. I gave you free advice last week. I told you the blueprint to beat the Chiefs, and you didn't listen. What did I say last week? In quick hits, talking about how good the Chiefs looked on opening night, how electric and potent this Chiefs offense is. And now you add to that with their first-round draft pick and Clyde Edwards-Helaire as a running back. Catches the ball out of the backfield, tough between the tackles, over 100 yards in his first game. He had that too. A great wide receiver core, a great tight end core, and obviously an all-world quarterback. It's very tough to stop. But the one way you can stop the Chiefs, really the best way, and so far maybe the only way to slow down the Chiefs, offense at least, is by keeping them off the field. Your best defense is offense, and the offense of your own team. And I said it like sort of facetiously, but also seriously. Teams should consider just not punting. Don't give the ball back to Kansas City, because it doesn't work in your favor. Giving Patrick Mahomes and this offense, giving Andy Reid more opportunities and chances to score on you will never end your way. And what happened? This game goes overtime. 4th down and 1, the Chargers win the toss. They get the ball. 4th and 1 from their own 34. They elected to punt. As soon as you punt the ball, game's over. Game's over. You need a field goal to win. With the best quarterback in the NFL, with a insanely talented offensive mind in Andy Reid, and a great offense. Your defense played so well through 3 quarters. And really, I'll even give you the 4th quarter, because they held Kansas City to 20 points, which is an accomplishment in its own right. They hit Patrick Mahomes, they put pressure on him. But you can't keep this Chiefs offense down. It's so hard to shut them down for 4 quarters, let alone now have to do it again in overtime. And what happened? 4th and 1, you punt, 13 plays, game-winning field goal, game over, Chiefs win. And this is what I'm talking about, because we can ask the 49ers this. We saw this in the Super Bowl, how hard it is to keep the Chiefs offense down for 4 quarters. The first 3 quarters, the Chargers their defense was phenomenal. 9 points, 177 total yards. In the first 3 quarters, under 200 yards of total offense, 9 points, that's it. 1 touchdown. Phenomenal job. Absolutely phenomenal job. But what happens? You give opportunities to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, eventually they'll cash in on them. 4th quarter and overtime, 14 points, 197 total yards in the 4th quarter and overtime alone. So you can't contain Patrick Mahomes for an entire game. So you have to capitalize on what your defense did the first 3 quarters, go for it on 4th down. Win the game or lose the game with your offense. At least you have a chance against a defense that's okay with the Chiefs. You have to be aggressive. You got to put your foot down. Because if not, the Chiefs will show you. They'll flip it. They'll turn it. Flip of a switch. Boom. They're scoring. They're getting their rhythm down. They scored on every possession in the 4th quarter and overtime that they had the ball. In crunch time, when it counts, they won. So don't punt the ball. Don't give them another opportunity. Sure, if you don't get it, it's on your own 34, the game's over. But guess what? With the way that offense has been going in the 4th quarter, with your defense being gassed, it's over anyway if you give them the ball. Don't punt. Don't punt. I hope teams around the league take note of this. See what the Chargers did and do the opposite. You can play the best you possibly can play. You can play the best defensive game you've ever seen for 3 quarters. It'll work. But eventually, they'll get you. The Chiefs will get you. Be aggressive, put your foot on the gas, and don't give them opportunities. Your best defense is offense. Win the game with your rookie quarterback. Or lose the game with your rookie quarterback. But hey, at least you have the chance, essentially, you control your own destiny. So, I gave you, Chargers, I gave you the free advice, and I hope the rest of the NFL is listening. Don't punt the ball, especially in a big spot. Don't do it. Another thing I wanted to kind of discuss from this Chiefs-Chargers game. And Justin Herbert, absolutely phenomenal debut, especially not to mention. I understand, the coach speak and the player talk is always, if you're a backup quarterback, you always prepare like you're the starter. You always carry about your business like you're starting that week, even if you're not. Oh, I'm watching film the same way I would if I was starting. Getting the reps, I'm trying the best I can in practice. I'm preparing myself like I'm the starter. So that way if an injury happens, I'm always ready to go. It's always easier to say and harder to carry out. But Justin Herbert, 30 seconds. Again, this is no exaggeration, but this is literally, the coin toss happens. The Chargers get in the ball, and Anthony Lynn goes, hey, by the way, you're starting now. You are our quarterback because Tyrod Taylor hurt his chest in warmups. And what did Herbert do? 311 passing yards, 2 total touchdowns, and again, played well enough to give the Chargers a chance to beat the Chiefs. But after the game, this is where there should be a quarterback controversy, and this is where I don't agree with Anthony Lynn, head coach of the Chargers. After the game, Anthony Lynn said, if Tyrod Taylor, as long as he's healthy, he's our starting quarterback. He is still our guy, whether it's he's healthy next week, he's healthy in 3 weeks. Whenever he comes back, whenever his chest heals, he is still our starter. Despite Justin Herbert, again, 2 total touchdowns, 311 yards passing. Looked like at least he knew what he was doing out there. Didn't look like he was overwhelmed. Played calm, was a leader. So my question is, why? Why not start Justin Herbert moving forward? What benefit do you have if you're the Chargers of putting Tyrod Taylor out there for another 14 games or however it is when he's healthy? There's no benefit. To me, there's nothing good that comes out of starting Tyrod Taylor for the rest of the season if you're the Chargers. And again, this is a guy who played well enough to give you a chance to win. Again, threw 1 bad interception, but he was also a rookie in his first game. Mistakes like that are going to happen. But Herbert had limited to basically no first-team reps. Because when you're in season and you're not the starter, you're not practicing with the first team. All those reps are going to the starting quarterback. The starting offense is together. There's no rotating. There's no I'll go, you go. It is Tyrod Taylor with the first team and Justin Herbert with the second team. So you're coming in now with a team, with an offense you haven't really worked with too much. And again, you had almost no time to prepare to play the game. So he should get more comfortable, should develop more as he carries himself to be the starter, as he gets more reps in practice with the first team. And to me, that will only make him better. And use this year as a learning opportunity. I don't get what's sitting behind Tyrod Taylor would do for the Chargers' future in the next few years, obviously, but also this year as well. What benefit does that have? Because we already know what kind of quarterback he is. If you want to point to the Patrick Mahomes, Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes sat the first year behind Alex Smith before taking over and going to an MVP season. That's a different situation because the Chiefs made the playoffs that year. The Chiefs were still a really, really, really good team that saw they had a limited future with Alex Smith, decided to take a chance on Patrick Mahomes. But still at the same time, we're still a playoff team. We're not in a developmental, in-between, on-the-fly rebuild sort of team. They hosted a home playoff game. They won the division that year. This is not a Chargers team that's going to win the division this year. This is not a Chargers team that's a playoff team this year. So if you're going to lose anyway, if you're not going to make the playoffs, why not get your future started right now? Why are you playing a guy who's not going to be here next year or 2 years? And if he does play, he doesn't elevate the offense. We know what Tyrod Taylor is. He has a high floor. He's really not going to lose the game. He's not going to make mistakes. He doesn't throw interceptions. So he's not going to turn the ball over. But also, he's not going to win you the game. He has a very low ceiling. He doesn't make a lot of plays that make you say, wow, that are explosive, that put teams and their offenses, I should say, in positions to score a lot of points. There's a reason why he got booted out of Buffalo when they made the playoffs back in 2017. There's a reason why he lost out to Baker Mayfield as a starter in Cleveland. There's a reason why he's about to lose again to Justin Herbert. He's a nice, safe, backup quarterback option. But this is not a Chargers team that is a game manager away from making the playoffs, from winning the division, like the Chiefs were a few years ago. This is a totally different situation. You have a lot of talent on the team, don't get me wrong. We also have the talent on the team for a long time. You just signed Keenan Allen to an extension. You just signed Joey Bosa to an extension. You have Derwin James, who's still young. He's already out for the year, obviously. But he's still another young guy that you want to be, as long as he's healthy, a piece on your team for a very long time. Why not look to the future right now? Why not try to get some of those rookie bumps out of the way now? Because it's not like college quarterbacks come in now, rookie quarterbacks come in and are overwhelmed by the system, trying to basically learn an entire different game from college. Right? That was the knock on young quarterbacks for a long time. They need to sit because they need to learn the NFL game. And yes, it's different. But the NFL is meshing so many college concepts now into this game, into their offenses, that's not as big of a transition. The pro style is meshing more with the spread each day and each year. So the learning curve is not as great as it used to be. So honestly, what's the benefit of sitting Justin Herbert? Because if you want to say he's overwhelmed, he didn't know the playbook. I mean, he played pretty damn well in his debut, especially knowing he wasn't going to start again until 30 seconds before kickoff. So I don't get, maybe it's just Anthony Lynn trying to be nice, not trying to kick a guy when he's down. Maybe he knows Tyrod Taylor's going to be out for a few weeks, and then by that point, if Justin Herbert continues to play well, the starting job's going to be his, not going to take it away. But to me, hearing Anthony Lynn saying, as long as he's healthy, Tyrod Taylor is still our starting quarterback, I think is the wrong attitude to have. And that's not the way you win this year. That's not the way you win in the future. Justin Herbert gives you a great chance to win this year, but also gives you a great chance to win in the future. Get the rookie bumps out of the way now. Try to figure out what you have going forward now, so you can adjust your team accordingly to give him the weapons he needs. So, I don't get it. I don't get it to me. Again, the Chargers are not a playoff team. They have talent, but this is a team that should be looking towards the future. Trying to figure out, how can we be as good as possibly be to compete with the Chiefs? Because guess what? Patrick Mahomes is not going anywhere. The team to be in that division for a very long time is going to be the Chiefs. You have the Broncos, a very young offense on the rise. This division has gotten very tough to win now. You got to see what you have in Justin Herbert, have him develop, and find out sooner rather than later if he could be the guy going forward for a very long time in Los Angeles. That starts with playing him this year, starts with playing him right now. You got the taste, you got to see what he can do. Keep it going.